Hello, I'm Sophia. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to practice English speaking with a simple and useful topic, daily routine. We will talk about waking up, breakfast, work, lunch, the evening, and going to bed. Listen carefully, repeat the sentences, and try to answer the questions yourself. Let's begin. What time do you usually wake up? I usually wake up at 7 o'clock. Do you wake up early? Yes, I usually wake up early. Do you wake up at the same time every day? Usually, yes, but I sleep a little longer on weekends. What do you do when you wake up? First, I turn off my alarm and get out of bed. Do you check your phone in the morning? Sometimes I check my phone, but I try not to spend too much time on it. What do you do after you get out of bed? I usually wash my face and brush my teeth. Do you take a shower in the morning? Yes, I usually take a shower in the morning. How long does your morning routine take? It usually takes about 30 minutes. Do you get dressed after your shower? Yes, I get dressed after my shower. What do you usually wear in the morning? I usually wear comfortable clothes for the morning. Do you make your bed? Yes, I usually make my bed after I get up. Do you clean your room in the morning? Sometimes I clean my room before I leave the house. What do you usually have for breakfast? I usually have eggs, bread, cheese, and fruit. Do you eat breakfast every day? Yes, I usually eat breakfast every day. Do you drink tea or coffee in the morning? I usually drink tea, but sometimes I drink coffee. How many cups of tea do you drink in the morning? I usually drink 1 or 2 cups. Do you eat breakfast alone? Sometimes I eat alone, and sometimes I eat with my family. What time do you usually have breakfast? I usually have breakfast at around 7:30. How long does breakfast take? It usually takes about 15 minutes. What do you do after breakfast? After breakfast, I get ready for work. Do you prepare your things before leaving home? Yes, I check my bag, phone, and keys before I leave. What do you take with you to work? I usually take my phone, wallet, keys, and a bottle of water. What time do you leave home? I usually leave home at 8 o'clock. How do you go to work? I usually go to work by bus. Do you like going to work by bus? Yes, it is convenient for me. How long does it take to get to work? It usually takes about 30 minutes. What do you do on the bus? I usually listen to music or look out the window. Do you sometimes read on the bus? Yes, sometimes I read something on my phone. What time do you arrive at work? I usually arrive at work at around 8:30. What do you do when you arrive at work? First, I say hello to my coworkers and prepare for the day. Do you drink coffee at work? Sometimes I drink coffee in the morning. What time do you start work? I usually start work at 9 o'clock. Are you busy in the morning? Yes, mornings are usually quite busy. What do you usually do at work? I answer messages, talk to people, and work on different tasks. Do you have a morning break? Yes, I usually have a short break in the morning. What do you do during your break? I usually drink water or tea and relax for a few minutes. Do you talk to your coworkers during the break? Yes, sometimes we talk about our day. What time do you usually have lunch? I usually have lunch at around 1 o'clock. Where do you have lunch? Sometimes I eat at work, and sometimes I go to a nearby cafe. What do you usually eat for lunch? I usually eat chicken, rice, vegetables, or a sandwich. Do you eat lunch quickly? Sometimes I do because I have to go back to work. Do you take lunch from home? Sometimes I bring food from home. What do you do after lunch? After lunch, I go back to work and continue my tasks. Are you usually tired after lunch? Sometimes I feel a little tired after lunch. What helps you feel better? A short walk and some fresh air usually help me. Do you take a walk during the day? Yes, I sometimes take a short walk during my break. What time do you finish work? I usually finish work at around 5 o'clock. Do you go straight home after work? Usually, yes, but sometimes I stop at a shop. What do you buy? I usually buy food or something I need at home. Do you feel tired after work? Yes, sometimes I feel tired after a busy day. What do you do when you get home? I usually change my clothes and relax for a while. Do you eat something when you get home? Sometimes I have a small snack. What kind of snack do you have? I usually have fruit, yogurt, or a sandwich. Do you talk to your family after work? Yes, I usually talk to my family when I get home. What do you talk about? We usually talk about our day and our plans. Do you help with things at home? Yes, I sometimes help with dinner or cleaning. What time do you usually have dinner? I usually have dinner at around 7 o'clock. Do you have dinner with your family? Yes, when everyone is at home, we usually eat together. What do you do after dinner? I usually relax, watch something, or talk with my family. Do you watch TV in the evening? Sometimes I watch TV for a little while. Do you use your phone in the evening? Yes, but I try not to use it too much. What time do you usually go to bed? I usually go to bed at around 11 o'clock. What do you do before going to bed? I brush my teeth, prepare my things for tomorrow, and relax. Do you prepare for the next day before sleeping? Yes, I usually prepare my clothes and check my schedule. Do you read before bed? Sometimes I read for a few minutes. Do you listen to music before bed? Sometimes I listen to quiet music. Do you sleep well at night? Yes, I usually sleep well. What time do you wake up the next morning? I usually wake up at 7 o'clock and start my routine again. Do you have a routine on weekends? Yes, I usually have a different routine on weekends. What time do you wake up on weekends? I usually wake up around 8 or 9 o'clock. Do you sleep later on weekends? Yes, I usually sleep a little later. What do you do after you wake up? I wash my face, brush my teeth, and have breakfast. Do you have a big breakfast on weekends? Sometimes I have a bigger breakfast on weekends. What do you usually eat? I usually have eggs, bread, cheese, fruit, and tea. Do you clean your home on weekends? Yes, I usually clean my room and help around the house. When do you clean your room? I usually clean it in the morning. Do you go shopping on weekends? Sometimes I go shopping with my family. What do you usually buy? I usually buy food, drinks, and things we need at home. Do you meet your friends on weekends? Yes, I sometimes meet my friends. What do you usually do together? We usually walk, talk, have coffee, or go somewhere together. Do you go to cafes with your friends? Yes, we sometimes go to a cafe. What time do you usually meet them? We usually meet in the afternoon. Do you like going for walks? Yes, I really enjoy going for walks. When do you usually go for a walk? I usually go for a walk in the afternoon or evening. Do you listen to music while walking? Yes, sometimes I listen to music while I walk. Do you exercise during the week? Yes, I try to exercise a few times a week. What kind of exercise do you do? I usually walk, stretch, or do simple exercises at home. What time do you exercise? I usually exercise in the evening. Do you exercise every day? No, I don't exercise every day. Why not? Because I am sometimes busy with work and other things. Do you take breaks during the day? Yes, I try to take short breaks when I'm busy. Why are breaks important? They help me relax and feel less tired. Do you drink enough water during the day? Yes, I try to drink water regularly. Do you eat snacks during the day? Sometimes I have a small snack between meals. What do you usually eat? I usually eat fruit, yogurt, or nuts. Do you work from home? Sometimes I work from home. Do you like working from home? Yes, sometimes it is comfortable and quiet. What do you do when you work from home? I work on my computer and answer messages. Do you take a lunch break when you work from home? Yes, I usually take a short lunch break. Do you work late? Sometimes I work late when I have a lot to do. What time do you usually finish? I usually finish work around 5 or 6 o'clock. What do you do after a long workday? I usually take a shower, eat dinner, and relax. Do you like relaxing after work? Yes, I really enjoy having some quiet time. How do you relax? I usually listen to music, watch a movie, or read a book. Do you read every day? No, but I try to read when I have free time. What do you like to read? I like simple stories and interesting articles. Do you watch movies during the week? Sometimes I watch a movie in the evening. Do you watch movies alone? Sometimes I watch them alone, and sometimes with my family or friends. Do you spend time with your family in the evening? Yes, I usually spend some time with my family. What do you usually do together? We have dinner, talk, and sometimes watch TV. Do you call your friends in the evening? Sometimes I call my friends after dinner. How long do you usually talk? We usually talk for about 20 or 30 minutes. Do you use social media every day? Yes, I sometimes use social media every day. When do you usually use it? I usually check it in the evening. Do you spend a lot of time on your phone? I try not to spend too much time on my phone. Do you set an alarm for the next morning? Yes, I usually set an alarm before I go to sleep. Do you prepare your clothes for the next day? Yes, sometimes I prepare my clothes before bed. Do you make a plan for the next day? Yes, I usually think about what I need to do tomorrow. What is the first thing you do in the morning? The first thing I do is turn off my alarm. What is the last thing you do at night? The last thing I do is turn off the light and go to sleep. Do you like your daily routine? Yes, I like my routine because it keeps my day organized. Is your routine always the same? No, it changes depending on my work and plans. What part of your day do you like the most? I like the evening because I have time to relax. What part of the day are you usually busiest? I am usually busiest in the morning. What part of the day are you usually most relaxed? I am usually most relaxed in the evening. Do you like mornings? Yes, I like quiet mornings. Why? Because I can start my day slowly and prepare for everything. Do you like evenings? Yes, evenings are a good time to relax. Do you prefer mornings or evenings? I prefer evenings because I have more free time. Do you think having a routine is important? Yes, I think a simple routine helps you organize your day. Does a routine help you save time? Yes, it helps me know what I need to do. What would you like to change about your routine? I would like to exercise more and spend less time on my phone. Would you like to wake up earlier? Yes, I would like to wake up a little earlier. Why? Because I want to have more time in the morning. Would you like to go to bed earlier? Yes, I think going to bed earlier is a good habit. What is one good habit you have? I try to prepare my things before I go to bed. What is one habit you want to improve? I want to spend less time looking at my phone. Do you think small changes can improve your day? Yes, small changes can make a difference. What small change would you like to make? I would like to start my mornings without checking my phone. Now it's your turn to practice speaking about your daily routine. Listen to each question. Think about your own answer. Then repeat the example answer aloud. What time do you usually wake up? I usually wake up at 7 o'clock. Do you wake up early every day? Yes, I usually wake up early, but I sleep a little longer on weekends. What do you do first in the morning? First, I turn off my alarm, get out of bed, and open the curtains. What do you do after that? I wash my face, brush my teeth, and take a shower. Do you have breakfast every morning? Yes, I usually have breakfast every morning. What do you usually eat for breakfast? I usually eat eggs, bread, cheese, and fruit. What do you usually drink? I usually drink tea, but sometimes I drink coffee. What time do you leave home? I usually leave home at 8 o'clock. How do you go to work? I usually go to work by bus. What do you do on the way to work? I usually listen to music or look out the window. What time do you start work? I usually start work at 9 o'clock. What do you usually do at work? I answer messages, talk to people, and work on different tasks. Do you have a break at work? Yes, I usually have a short break in the morning. What do you do during your break? I drink some water or tea and relax for a few minutes. What time do you have lunch? I usually have lunch at around 1 o'clock. What do you usually eat for lunch? I usually eat chicken, rice, vegetables, or a sandwich. What do you do after lunch? I go back to work and continue my tasks. What time do you finish work? I usually finish work at around 5 o'clock. What do you do after work? I usually go home, change my clothes, and relax for a while. Do you spend time with your family? Yes, I usually spend some time with my family in the evening. What do you usually do together? We have dinner, talk about our day, and sometimes watch TV. What time do you have dinner? I usually have dinner at around 7 o'clock. What do you do after dinner? I usually listen to music, watch something, read a book, or talk with my family. Do you use your phone in the evening? Yes, sometimes I use my phone, but I try not to spend too much time on it. Do you exercise? Yes, I try to exercise a few times a week. What kind of exercise do you do? I usually walk, stretch, or do simple exercises at home. When do you usually exercise? I usually exercise in the evening. Do you read books? Yes, I sometimes read before going to bed. What do you like to read? I like simple stories and interesting articles. Do you watch movies during the week? Sometimes I watch a movie with my family or friends. Do you have a different routine on weekends? Yes, my weekend routine is a little different. What time do you wake up on weekends? I usually wake up around 8 or 9 o'clock. What do you do on weekend mornings? I have breakfast, clean my room, and spend time with my family. Do you meet your friends on weekends? Yes, sometimes I meet my friends. What do you usually do together? We walk, talk, have coffee, or go somewhere together. Do you like your daily routine? Yes, I like my routine because it keeps me organized. Is your routine always the same? No, it changes depending on my work and plans. What is your favorite part of the day? My favorite part of the day is the evening. Why do you like the evening? Because I have more free time and I can relax. What is the busiest part of your day? The morning is usually the busiest part of my day. Why is the morning busy? Because I have to get ready, have breakfast, and go to work. What would you like to change about your routine? I would like to exercise more and spend less time on my phone. Would you like to wake up earlier? Yes, I would like to wake up a little earlier. Why? Because I want to have more time in the morning. Would you like to go to bed earlier? Yes, I would like to sleep a little earlier. What is one good habit you have? I usually prepare my things for the next day before I go to bed. What habit would you like to improve? I would like to spend less time looking at my phone. Do you think having a routine is important? Yes, a simple routine can help us organize our day and save time. Now, try to describe your own daily routine. Talk about your morning. Talk about your work. Talk about your evening. Talk about what you do before bed. Use simple sentences and speak slowly. You do not need to speak perfectly. If you make a mistake, continue speaking and try again. The more you practice, the more comfortable you will become. Thank you for practicing English with me today. Keep listening, keep repeating, keep speaking English every day. See you in the next lesson. Goodbye.